Didn't Jesus do away with the law of Moses? That's probably a question that speaks to the heart of the main contention between Messianics and Christians generally. So there was, I once heard a story, and I don't know whether it's true, but I heard it said that there was a convention of people that were getting together to work on a dictionary, and they were trying to define the difference between complete and finished. And eventually, one man stood up and he said something to the effect of, if you find the right woman, she completes you. And if you find the wrong woman, she'll finish you. And if the right woman catches you with the wrong woman, then you're completely finished. And there was a lot of laughter to that statement generally. But the question then becomes, which finished are we talking about? What does it mean to be complete? Are we talking about you take your car to the mechanic to find out what's wrong with it, and the car, is so just completely beyond repair that the mechanic throws in the towel and he says, "Hey, this thing's finished," right? Or let's say you go to the garage to see your dad. He's been working on that Chevy restoration for the last 15 years or whatever it is, and he's just put the battery and the final touches on this thing. Everything's good to go, and the son asks, "Is it finished?" And the father says, "It's finished," right? What finished are we talking about? Well, one is saying this is the end, it's gone. The other one is saying that it's now complete. It has what it needs to proceed, right? The car can't drive without the battery. It can't drive without the ignition. It can't drive without the gas. You might have a pretty close car, but it's not quite finished. It's not quite ready to operate in the fullness of what it is to be a car. It might be a pretty showpiece, but it's not functional as a vehicle until it's finished and able to head down the road. So the question is, how do we know what kind of finished we're talking about, right? Well, in Matthew 17, we actually get some context where he precludes the idea that the finished he's talking about is throw the car away, it's done. In Matthew 5:17, it says, "Do not presume that I came to abolish the Torah or the prophets, the law or the prophets. I did not come to abolish, but to fulfill," right? So the completion that he's talking about is not a doing away with, not an abolishment, but it's talking about bringing it to its fullness, right? To be fulfilled. And one of the reasons we know this is we can actually look back at the Torah to some of the laws which can't even actually function properly without a Messiah, right? Without something special happening or the direct intervention of God in the affairs of man. So there's a particular law as regards to lepers, and feel free to look it up. But it talks about what a leper shall do in the day of his cleansing, right? He shall present himself to the priest, and the priest shall examine him. And if he's clean, then the priest shall declare him clean, and he shall wash and change his clothes and be, clean until evening. And then he can do this and he can do that. And he's got to go through this process where he's first not allowed to go into the camp, but then he's allowed to go into the camp. But then he can't yet go up to the tabernacle, but then later he can go up to the tabernacle, and there's washing, and there's graduations of moving from uncleanness to cleanness, right? And there's this inspection, there's this washing, there's this changing of clothes, all these things. But that law can't function until after the leper receives his cleansing, right? So in order for the law to be fulfilled, in order for it to be walked out, first somebody has to come along who can cleanse the lepers. As it happens, we have an account of a certain fellow by the name of Yeshua, was on scene around 2,000 years ago. And not only did he say he did not come to do away with the Torah, but he came to fulfill it, to make it full. We actually see the practical application of this, and we see it specifically as regards the law of the leper, right? Because there are lepers in his day, he cleanses those lepers, and then he tells them to go do the things which is commanded in the Torah of Moses as a testimony to them, right? So that law could not actually be fulfilled, could not even start until someone was available and able to cleanse the lepers. Messiah did not come to do away with the Torah. He came to bring that battery, that spark of life, the thing that is necessary for it to function in its fullness. And that's why we see it a little bit differently in Torah-observant Messianic Judaism. Shalom.